Hey, it's Greg Dickerson here, and this video is all about how to find off-market commercial and multifamily properties. And we've talked about that in a few of the other videos. So the best way to find them, number one way is just driving for dollars as you're out and about driving around. Keep an eye out for properties that look like they are in disrepair, have a lot of deferred maintenance, just in general look run down. Maybe they're even boarded up. It's pretty easy to spot commercial and multifamily properties that are in need of deferred maintenance and repairs. That's a great way to do it. The second method would be to find list of commercial property and multifamily property owners and call them up. I'm a huge fan of cold calling, although I don't look at it as cold calling. I don't look at it from a sales standpoint. When I call property owners or I call people in general for business, I'm calling to obviously see if they want to sell their property, but more importantly to build a relationship. I know the chances of them having a property for sale or wanting to sell their property right there that day that I'm calling are pretty slim. If you're calling enough, you're going to find somebody who's ready to sell. And that's kind of one of the ideas is you want to be in front of people when they're ready to sell. I'm not calling them to try to convince them that they need to sell or that they should sell. What I'm doing is calling to introduce myself, build a relationship, find out if they're interested in selling their property, and if not, when, and if they have any other properties that they would like to sell, whether it's commercial or residential. When I cold call, for business, it's the same thing. I am building a relationship. I'm getting to know people. I'm doing more listening than talking. So a cold call would go something like this. Hi, this is Greg Dickerson. I'm an investor and developer, and I'm interested in your property. Just curious if you were thinking about selling anytime soon. And then just be quiet and listen. Let them, wait for them. Let them, wait to see what they say, what they have to say. Let them talk. Again, do more listening than talking. And, if they say no, not right now, well, what are your plans? Everybody liquidates eventually. When do you think you might be a seller? Are you going to retire? Or are you still operating a business in the property? What is your long-term goal? That type of thing. They're going to answer those questions for you. They're going to give you that information. So basically, all you really have to say is, well, if you're not interested in selling right now, when do you think you may be interested? Are you thinking about selling at some point down the road? And just kind of listen. Again, you're looking to serve others. You're looking to build a relationship. When it comes to commercial property, generally those people are a little bit more sophisticated. They're investors themselves, so they understand how it works. They understand the game. They're a lot easier to work with. They're a lot easier to talk with. A lot of times they do enjoy talking about their property. And then every once in a while, you're going to get somebody that says, hey, don't call me ever again. I'm not selling now. I'm not selling ever. I've had those responses, but in general, most people enjoy talking about their property. They enjoy talking about their career, how they came about owning the property. So cold calling can be very effective. You can also mail. You can get lists from all the list sources that you use for residential, like ListSource. And you can get property lists off your tax database and sort them, by the different types of properties and use classes for commercial, multifamily, industrial. And you can mail. I would suggest mailing letters, not postcards, a professional letter on professional letterhead. Once again, introducing yourself and what you do. You're dealing with investors, so you don't want to use. And I'm not a fan of using the direct mail in residential. That's like the urgent notice mailings. I'm more straightforward. I like to be upfront and just talk to people where they are, meet people where they are, look to serve them first and help them out. I'm not one that tries to mislead or fool people or trick them into opening a piece of mail. Just send them a nice professional letter just saying, hey, I'm an investor developer. I buy property. I'm interested in your property. If you're ever going to sell, please give me a call. I mean, it's that simple. And you can have a little bit about your company if you want to, but people don't care. They don't care about you or your company. They care about themselves, their own property. So if you're there just to listen, learn, build a relationship, and then ask them if once you touch base with them, if you send a letter, you always want to follow it up with a phone call. Hey, I sent you a letter. Just wanted to make sure you received it and kind of give you a voice to the name. This is Greg Dickerson. I sent you a letter about your property and just wanted to call, say hello, introduce myself, and make sure you received it. And then you just kind of listen, let them, wait and see what they say. So at the end of the conversation, after you've done your data gathering, and you want to keep a CRM, you want to gather information about the seller, about the property after those conversations. So once you're finished, you always want to end the conversation with, hey, I really appreciate your time. I've enjoyed getting to know you. when can I follow up with you? I know you don't want to sell right now, but I'd love to just check in with you every once in a while. Should I give you a call again in another month or so, or when would you like me to follow up? And then just let them tell you when to follow up. And they may tell you, I'm never going to sell. They might tell you, you know what, call me back in 6 months, or call me next year, or call me next month. Hopefully they'll say, call me next week, but you never know. If you look to serve first, seek to understand first where the other person is, put yourself in their shoes, their position, and just let them talk, let them give the information to you, and just look to build that relationship. Then, that will go a long way. And not only will it go a long way with that seller, but they'll recommend you to other people as well, because they're going to be out, they're going to be having conversations, and they're going to find, talk to somebody that may have a property that they want to sell. Say, you know what, I was talking to this guy the other day, here's his number. So just make sure that you're polite and that you look to serve and build a relationship. You never know where it's going to go. You never know who they know, and you never know what all they own, that they may be a seller at some point in time. And follow up when they say it's appropriate to follow up. Don't force it on them. Don't push it on them. I know a lot of people say you have to touch them 8 times, but you're not selling them anything. You just want to be there for them when they're ready to sell. You're not going to be able to convince somebody to sell their property that's not ready to sell, but you want to be there when they are ready to sell. You want to be the first person that comes to mind when they're ready to sell. And the way you do that is by building a solid relationship, by being interested in them first, sincerely, not manipulative, not in a manipulative way, but in a sincere way. You got to care about people, care about them, and be interested in them. So that's it for today, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.